Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Fix the XJ6. We are actually pretty close to getting this bike done now. There's just been a couple of delays waiting on bits and pieces, but I now have the last parts that I need to get the last few jobs done, and then the bike can be put back together. If you saw on the previous episode, I mentioned something about these brakes, saying that I thought I was doing something wrong, and although I wasn't actually doing something wrong, I wasn't doing it 100% right. It's just these calipers are a bit weird, where, come here, you just drop the pads in like that, and then you push them together and hope your clips don't fall off. Can you see in here you've got the pad in this edge here with your spring clip on it? You've got to get that properly through, and that one down this side. So this is basically what you want to end up with one of the pads on this side and the other pad in that side, either side of those of the clip, which is pretty obvious. And then you have to compress it all together, and then you get a nice straight groove through here to put your disc, and it will fit over no problems. What was happening for me was every time I was trying to get this on the bike, one of these back edges, like it's trying to do now, jumped, and it would get caught. So as long as I get it on the bike straight, it will sort itself out. So that's those prepped, ready to go. Now I just need to do the rear brake pads. And these are the conventional type, so little cap off. So that thin bolt goes through there, and then I've got a slider bolt here that I want to put some grease on. Okay, so now we've got that attached to the carrier. I will nip these up tighter once it's actually on the bike. Just got to pop the pad in, being careful not to touch the surface of it. Shove the pin a bit through to hold it in place. Make sure that's down. Then the other side. Continue pushing the pin through. And then I'm going to put an absolutely tiny bit of copper slip on this just to stop it seizing. Doesn't need to be everywhere, just a little bit helps. Then replace the little screw cap. There we go. Brakes are ready to go back on. I'm glad I went with the cheaper torque wrench because I checked and the one I wanted is still not in stock. Another thing, this has actually been tested and hand signed, so that's something. There we go. Once they're in, they're in. And spin. Good with me. It's going to make a little bit of noise to start with because we haven't bled the system or anything. Well, that's the front calipers back on. We do need to put the brake lines on, but I need to decide if I'm going to change the bars or not. Probably not at the moment. So yeah, we can put the brake lines back on. I do need to change the front sprocket. I was having some confusions with this, trying to work out what exactly was going on with this nut. And actually, right now, this is probably the clearest I've ever seen it. It's quite clearly a nut, and then the front edge of it has got like an edge that you can knock in, like a tab washer. So yeah, I need to get this off. So one, I need to make sure the bike's in neutral, which it is. My sprocket holding tool just does not seem to want to hold this, so I'm going to use a pretty ghetto technique to try and get it off. But I've also got the air gun now that's really going to help. Okay, to be clear here, I should have taken this off before I took the chain off. I didn't think about it, or there was a reason why I didn't, and I can't remember why. But anyway, what we're going to try and do here is I've got the chain wrapped around. Now this is all protected by this, and I'm going to put my foot on the chain on the ground to pin it all in place. That's actually holding it pretty tight, and then I can put the air impact on it and hope that it comes off. I'm sure this is the same piece as this nut, for sure. I don't think it's like a separate piece that's put on after. So, as this really doesn't want to undo, I'm going to just peel back this, like, edge and hope maybe that will help. That was probably one of the hardest nuts of my life. So as you can probably see here, there is a little lip, and that's what continued all the way around here, and I had to chisel off because it's only supposed to be knocked down in one place into a little cutout in the countershaft, but I don't know if they went all the way around or what, but this was stuck hard. So it wasn't until I got all that off, bent this edge out the way, got WD-40 on it, heated it up a couple of times, and then got the impact on it repeatedly, to the point it's actually put dents in every... Look, you can actually see a bulge. Oh, sorry. You can see a bulge on each edge where it's hit it that hard. Safe to say, this thing is mullered and I need a new one, but I'm going to use it temporarily to put the front sprocket on so I can get the rear wheel on, and then in the future, before I ride this bike, in a couple of days, hopefully I'll order one from Wiimoto, I'll replace it. That was a pain in the butt. We're still waiting on the new cush rubbers to get into the UK. COVID, Brexit, whatever, has caused some major import issues, as I've discovered. But thankfully, I actually found my old ones, which there was nothing wrong with them per se. I just wanted to change them because I knew they weren't that new. But I can use them for now and again, change them over when the parts become available. I don't mind using these to ride with if it takes a while for them to turn up. So you can see it's solid. I probably don't even need to replace them. But, you know, when you're doing an overhaul like this, it's good to do stuff like that. So that's ready to go back on with the chain in the front sprocket, which I'll do in this video. But first, I want to drain the coolant. I just removed the little screw catch off of the cap of the radiator. Now, on most bikes where the water pump is, the lowest nut is a drain hole. I'm hoping that's the case here. It is! I think. Undo this one first. Get this in the right place, then undo the radiator. Oh! Divvy! There we go. There's a hole in this bucket. Okay, so now as you've seen, I've drained the coolant all over the floor. That's pretty standard. Turns out this box had 2 holes in it, which I've now sealed. So now what I've done is I've put a hose into the radiator and I'm going to flush it through with some clean water. Right, so I've drained that out. Then we get some radiator wash and put this into the radiator. It didn't really say how much, so I'm going to put half, because, you know, this is meant for cars. And then I need to top that up with water. Okay, so put the cap back on. Topped it up with the coolant and the rad flush. Now I've got to hope this bike starts. I'll let it run the fuel pump a couple of times. Sounds about right. Fingers crossed will it crank up. I have secured it on the stands, so we should be fine. Don't worry about the smoke, it was just some overspray of WD-40 from taking bits off in the past. I was expecting it. That's now been run for a good few minutes, so it got up to temperature. I now need to let it cool down enough that when I open it up, it's not going to be scaldingly hot. Ooh, yeah, there's some sludgy stuff coming out. That's good. It was impossible to show you, but the fins in the radiator actually look a lot cleaner as well now. So that's good stuff. So now we need to wash out any remnants of that flush. So we now need to refill it with tap water. Yep, that's full. I ran that for about a minute or so just to allow it to get around the system. Undo the bung. Undo the cap. Give it an extra little flush. Whoops, too much. And then thanks to Wemoto, we've got some new coolant. This is already mixed up, so you don't have to dilute it or anything. Does it come with a pouring spout of any sort? No. Oh, it's a nice... Yeah, oh, what would people... Oh, no! People don't argue about this. Is it green? Is it yellow? I'd call it green. Okay, so I've filled it. I'm going to quickly run it. Then you want to recheck the level because it's bound to have dropped a little bit, which it has. So then pop the cap back on. Then there's this little cap catch that just sort of hooks underneath inside the cap. And that just basically stops that undoing itself. And that is the coolant changed. And all over the floor. Alright, just rinse off any of that coolant we got on there. I'm not worried about getting water on the floor because I got so much coolant on it. This is just going to dilute it down. Just sprayed some ACF 50 up the swing arm. I don't see any rust in there, but that will just help us not get any at all, although most of it's going to drain out. Yes, I thought 2 zip ties would be enough to stop it slipping. Right, I've put a little bit of grease on these. These are the adjusters, the sliders, whatever you want to call them. I need to stick that in there. And the spacer in the other side. And I need to get a caliper over there. That's going to go on there. Yes! Yay! Looks good to me. Next job. Take off the front sprocket. And you'll note these teeth are a little bit wavy. Again, thanks to Wiimoto, we have a new front sprocket. We've already changed the rear one a long time ago. Just noticed something that is nice. This rubber here is like a cushion. It's not on the normal one, and it cushions the chain as it goes around, so it's not slamming into the teeth. That's my understanding of what this ring's for, and it also quietens down the chain a little bit through it not clicking so much. So I'm really glad and interested to know what it'd be like with that. I'm not reusing this nut. This will be coming back off, so I'm not torquing this up properly. I just want to get that on there so I can get the chain on. So now the wheel's on and the front sprocket's on, we can put the chain on. But I just went to get the chain guard and I didn't notice this before, but I can't tell if that's got a big chunk missing or whether it's a small insignificant piece that's missing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end this video here because I think we're probably long enough as is. Find out whether I need to replace this or not. And in the next video I should hopefully have this replacement if I need it, put the chain on, then we can put the brake lines on from hell and bleed those, and then they'll be all working. And then it's going to be a matter of fairings, I think. Anyway, if you're enjoying this series, please smash that like button. I would really appreciate it. If you want to help support this channel, there are merch links in the description. There's also Patreon. I will say, people of Patreon, Discord. If you join Discord, you need to make sure your Patreon and your Discord are linked. And you also need to make sure that you do that each time. Say, for instance, you support me for a month and then go away for a month and then come back. You need to link it again, and because at the end of the month we kick out anyone who hasn't got their Patreon linked to the Discord because they may have left Patreon by that point. I know it's slightly annoying, but generally if you are a continued patron, you link it once and then you just leave it. Discord is an amazing thing. Last night I was racing Ride 3 Supermotos on the Nürburgring with a load of my Discord followers, patrons. It was amazing fun. Anyway, until the next one, bye bye.